Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, let me thank you once more for having to wait this long for the conclusion of the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Task Force on the Control of Coronavirus, which we would tag name PTF COVID-19 for the ease of reference. So whenever you hear PTF COVID-19, is referring to the Presidential Task Force on the Control of Coronavirus. At the end of the inaugural meeting, the committee has reached some decisions that we would now release to the public through you, and we hope that this would go in a long way in assisting the members of the public to make some very conscious and specific decisions with regards to their travels. Let me first start with what we have decided as a committee, which has received approval, is the issue of travel by public and civil servants. After due consideration and the trend of the spread of the novel coronavirus disease, COVID-19, and the subsequent declaration of the outbreak as pandemic by the World Health Organization, the committee consequently decided to urge that we upscale our health emergency system to the highest level and put in measures to curb further spread of the disease. So far we have 3 cases, 2 have tested positive, 1 negative. We want to make sure that it does not go beyond these minor figures for now. So on the part of government, we have decided to advise and that it has become necessary to advise all public officials in the ministries, departments, and agencies, including parastatals, that government has banned all forms of travels out of the country for whatever reason, whether for meetings, bilateral, multilateral, conferences, seminars, workshops, presentations, negotiations, and any form of other ceremonies. This ban will remain in place until further notice and until the situation of the pandemic nature of the coronavirus abates. By this notice, any prior approval to travel abroad on official assignment during this period is accordingly rescinded. With regards to the general public, we want to advise strongly that citizens, in their own interests, should cancel or postpone all non-essential travel abroad, including business and vacation trips. This is especially so, especially when it comes to travels to countries known to be seriously affected by COVID-19. And such high-risk countries are China, Iran, South Korea, Germany, Italy, USA, UK, Switzerland, Norway, Netherlands, Spain, France, and Japan. Secondly, we urge everyone returning to Nigeria from any country at all to strictly self-isolate for 14 days in their homes. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has this morning issued guidelines for self-isolation. We will ensure that those guidelines are widely publicized. Third, all people returning from countries with high community transmission rate, especially countries that have recorded 1,000 cumulative cases and above, will be actively followed up for 14 days by the health authorities. At this juncture, we want to put it on notice that the Nigerian government supports the measures taken by the government of other countries, particularly high-burden countries, who have urged their residents to stay home and avoid non-essential travel, particularly and inclusive to Nigeria. We want to urge the Nigerian people to please continue to maintain high level of sanitation and hygiene and respiratory etiquette, which has been repeatedly advised. In the last 1 month or thereabout, the Minister of Health with his team, the Director of the Center for Disease Control, and the Minister of State for Health have been on the news media speaking about the need for cleanliness, hygiene, the washing of hands, the manner and method of how we would sneeze and cough. We would want to urge that we take this thing seriously. Maintaining social distance and avoiding crowded areas should begin to become our lifestyle. We will continue to look at emerging scenarios, and on a continuous basis, you will receive further briefings. But for now, we believe strongly that this particular pandemic is the most important public health emergency of our generation, and we must treat it with every seriousness that it deserves. Thank you, gentlemen of the press.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, gentlemen of the press. There will be no need for questions for now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we've just given them the briefing. Yeah, let them digest that. Yeah. Good. So, I think, like the DG said, they should go and sit and revise whatever there is on ground and what they need to build on, so that at least before the week runs out, we have another meeting after I've seen the president. Probably Thursday. When? Thursday. After I've seen the president. Because once I see the president, he gives approval for this very, very important decision of banning and all that kind of a thing. I think we will need to meet so that we can articulate.
I would like to ask
Very good, very good. I mean, it's very elastic. You can see that I just used my discretion and included him as the Minister for Foreign Affairs. I have not discussed with anybody. This committee is elastic. As many people as possible that we think we have need for them, we include them.